are alive and awake, and on a Thursday holiday coming up, we are at Bead Maker and Coffee. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I am so pleased, Sydney, that you invited Lindsay to be our guest today. Welcome.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
I'm her biggest fan.
I'm your biggest fan.
Well, I got to tell you, I think we're all just having a fan fest here today because we had a hell of a good time with you a week and a half ago down in your shop, and now you're in your shop. Wait a minute. That's not the same shop. What happened?
It will be here in 3 days.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. Yep. I have my power team prepared. We're going to make a quick one.
Nice. Turn and burn.
Yeah.
We're calling this the pop-up. We're trying to be trendy.
That's awesome.
I mean, we're going to be able to detail in the winter in tank tops. Come on now.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. That's so good. Well, that's awesome. I'm super excited. So speaking of, we were there a week ago, which is hard to believe, crazy. And we had a great time. Gosh, what did we have? 15, 16 students?
We had a very good class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Besides the number of people, when I was looking around, everybody was so engaged, and they genuinely had a smile on their face. Like they just did a great job. I can't express that enough.
Yeah, it was so great. Oh, there's the dog. So it was our very first scout training on the road. So everyone knows Keith and I, we head around wherever we can reach and do these, certifications on site, which is so fun. And we talked about this, back in August, right? Yeah. And we had to let you in on a little bit of a secret. Well, I did at the dinner table because you and Keith were trying to, I know, you and Keith were trying to plan a certification class, and I was like, oh, let's wait until you're the first one. So we made you hold out because you were wanting to do it like in September, and we made you hold out. So we had to kind of let you know that we had something else in the works and that we should hold off. And so you did. And God, it was amazing. And
it was definitely one of those worth the waits.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So
it was great.
Yeah. So definitely, kind of the first time that we really got to see like rehab and stout. We played with it in Car Supplies Warehouse, but that one was a little bit more difficult because we couldn't really say what it was and all that kind of stuff. So this was really the first one where we really just got to, run the two together. Also in Chicago, we had the cars were so bad. They were so bad. So this was such a shining moment. Sorry, I've got stuff all over my screen. Such a shining moment for rehab and stout, man.
Yeah,
crazy.
And those people that we did the cars for, they're still they're still messaging me.
I bet that Toyota, man, both of them really. I mean, the Kia sedan too, but that Toyota, that orange Toyota, holy cow! What? I
sent him those photos that we took with the stout and him in the background. Look, your truck's famous. And he's like, that gloss slaps. And I was
it's crazy.
It does.
But it really is crazy in the back of all those pictures. It's like, it's a whole different level. Different level. Yeah.
Very impressive.
Really, really, really good. So Lindsay, real quick, because sometimes I forget to do this and then I hear about it later. So I think most people know you, but for those who don't, give us like a 3-minute rundown on your background, how you got into detailing, all that kind of good stuff. Who's Lindsay?
Who is Lindsay? Well, if you don't know, you're missing out. No, I'm Lindsay Rose. I'm from Roseburg, Oregon, which is a little town about 3 hours south of Portland, right off I-5. I started professionally detailing in 2021. And before that, I was a first responder. I worked on the ambulances and in our local ER. And that was great. That was a great chapter. Just kind of got tired of that. And I grew up around cars. My dad, basically every weekend, my dad was like, look, the goal today is we're going to cook breakfast. We're going to wash the Mustang. And then we have to go for a cruise. So like, that was just what we did all the time. So I think I started detailing at like the age of 8. So Cars have always been big in my life, whether I've been building them or, detailing them or any of that. They're just a thing for me. So I decided it would be fun to just, I'm just going to start a business. And I didn't think it was going to really take off, and it took off in easy 3 months. So it's been quite the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So we met you just a little over 1 year ago. And I say this in the most loving way, but Lindsay came into the P&S booth at SEMA like a wrecking ball. And what I mean by that is you came in and you talked to everybody. And when you left, everybody went, wow, what about that Lindsay? Well, she was great. Right. And it was like you were so memorable to all of us. Right. And you were new and you were excited, and not new to the business, but it was your first trip to SEMA, and you were like me I went through that in 2016 too, where you came and you went, SEMA's like the last, this is make or break it. Like either we're staying in business because this is what we want to do, or this isn't our gig. Right. And I remember having that conversation with you, and to see what you've done in the last year has just been absolutely insane.
I remember when it was October of last year, and I was like so tired of buying multiple products because you waste so much money, you waste so much time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just need a dude to show up in a white van with everything I need. And that was Tom in his beautiful Mercedes P&S van. And I was like, okay, this is very convenient. So I'm going to buy a little bit of everything, and we'll just see how this goes. Cause expectations had failed me in the past, and I liked everything. And I was, that moment right there just opened all kinds of doors and just changed everything. And I got to meet Keith first because we met at a coding class in November last year.
Yep.
And then Tom said, maybe you should go to SEMA. And I was like, why do I want to go to Vegas? And so
we have that feeling every day of our life, but
I was like, that is, I like you, not really traveled, definitely not alone, etc. And I was like, okay, at that point in my business where I was kind of burnt and didn't know the next step. And I was like, I'm going to go talk to every single one of these people and be my most genuine self. And if it's meant to be, it's going to take off. And so,
yeah. So great. And then, so then the next time we saw you, you came to the car show, right? My car show here in Hidden Springs, and again, left a major impression on the entire team. And I don't even think that day was over. And Keith and I looked at Bob and said, she's on the Monterey team.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I thought maybe I was like, oh, we need a spot. Oh, what about that one girl?
No. And so then you joined us on the Monterey team, which was so amazing. We had such a great team this year. And obviously, you got to be part of it, and that was so fun. We had such a great week. None of us will ever forget it. It was so good. And the story just continues, right? And now, funny because I wanted to have you on Bead Maker and Coffee after Monterey, but then we knew that we were holding out for the stout class. And then I was like, now I'm going to have to hold her till after. So this
is worth the wait,
Yes. It's been a long time in the making. So excited to have you this morning. So any other things we need to cover, Keith, before we go into our favorite products of the week?
Well, it's a holiday week for us. The holidays are coming, so we need to make sure before we go today, we talk about the holiday schedule.
Yep.
There are all sorts of cool events coming up prior to Christmas. So our schedule doesn't slow down at P&S at all. But no, there's really nothing we need to cover. So let's talk favorite product of the week. I mean, I had Josh in the training center, so we got to break a lot of things this week and had some fun. And I know you guys have had a busy week. Sid, you were detailing this week. Lindsay, you were
everything
moving, renovating, and detailing this week. So let's go, Lindsay. What do you got? What's your product of the week?
So it's two products, but it's the same product. So and it actually, I didn't detail with them this weekend, but I had to clean a bathroom that was lived in by men. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And so I filled my IK sprayer with Express, and I started from the top. Well, sorry, but I started from the top to the bottom, and in the walls, I mean, I ripped the toilet out, ripped the sink out, and I scrubbed all these walls with, Express cleaner. And when I was done, the plan was to paint, and I was like, man, we don't even need to paint these walls now because it came so clean. Nice. And then a second off to that was definitely the Express wipes. I mean, I use them in cars for sure, on cup holders or just like light cleaning cars. But tools. I have a thing about extension cords and my hose reels, and our floors get dirty. We're blowing out cars. Cars are wet, muddy, whatever. So the floors get kind of muddy. And so every single time that I roll up any of those cords, I just grab a wipe and I have it in my hand and I just.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing too. We saw that when we were there and we're like, shit, we never thought of that. That's actually really, really cool. Because nothing drives me more crazy.
Yeah. It's going to be implemented into the business where like every single time you do, like you roll one up, like that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Just because they work so well and, they're safe on your hands and whatever. And yeah. So Express and Express wipes are my go-to.
Nice. Love it. Okay. So mine, where's my cat? Gosh, I feel like I always say the same stuff. Here's honestly mine. Like I have said this before and we know that I love it, but I'm gonna have to go with full send. And here's why, because, I do, out of fairness, I do test a lot of other products that are not PNS made. And, I do that just to, see what else is out there. I don't want to totally close off life to PNS, right? So I test a lot of other products just to see like where we're falling, making sure that we're not falling behind and all that kind of good stuff. And so last week I tried a couple new tire dressings. And I know tire dressings are like such a big, argument in the industry, but man, I tried a couple other tire dressings that get rave reviews. And, there's a joke about me. Like, I just like the way we do things. I say that about
There's a couple jokes about you.
Yeah. I say that a lot. Like, I just like the way we do things. But anyway, so I tried these other products and I tried to keep a really open mind. And, I just stood back and I was like, well, this is no good, and I kept thinking this is really bad. But then I had to go, it's really not that bad. It's just that
it's not
full send. I feel like I'm just spoiled with full send, to be honest. We always say that I'm like the diva detailer, and because I like stuff to just do the work for me, I like to walk away. I like it to just work on its own, anywhere that I can shave even 2-3 minutes.
Amen.
Makes me more efficient. And so while these other products weren't terrible, I just feel like I'm really spoiled with full send. I mean, you spray it on and you walk away and you come back and everything looks amazing. And I just think that's wild.
So I'm going to be honest. I didn't know full send was a tire dressing.
It's a dressing.
It's a dressing.
It's a tire dressing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like dynamic, but that one kind of advertises more for tires. So full send, huh? Gonna have
So it's from the off-road line.
Right.
It's similar in that it's a silicone dressing. So it's similar to dynamic in that way, but it's not really dilutable. And so it's a ready to use, whereas dynamic, in a gallon comes in a concentrate and you can adjust the shine levels yourself. Right. Which we talked about that, Lindsay, right? And so full send is just ready to use. It was developed for the off-road line. It, has some extra oomph to it because it's meant to address those really dry plastics on off-road vehicles and things like that. So think of all the fender wells and side-by-sides and stuff now, but it works so great on tires and it's not like extra shiny. So that's the thing. It's extra hydrating, but that doesn't equal extra shine. So it's still got that nice satin self-leveling. So great.
Wow.
Love the full scent. And it smells like orange creamsicle. So
like that.
Really, yeah. So mine's full scent.
Well, Tom will be here in a few hours, so I might have to get on that one.
Yeah, he'll really appreciate you asking him to bring in one more thing. So that'll be awesome. So, gosh, the training center was hopping this week. We had a record number of students. We had 23 students in 3 days.
That's crazy.
Normally we do 4, 8, and 4 in our classes, and I think we did 7, 8, and 8. So Stout got out there quick. I think probably from a student perspective, their favorite was Stout.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think Josh and I still love Rehab. But I'm going to go a little different here. The Oreo cookie salt and pepper free ride pad is one of my favorite things this week. And I'll tell you what, Sid, I discovered, this tool's ancient, right? So we're going in the Wayback Machine. We cleaned up the training center this week. Josh and I reorganized it, and I'm like, how do you want this to work? Because you're the instructor. And we found a Duetto. We found a Rupes Duetto, and I got to tell you, it's incredible with the Oreo pad and Rehab. I mean, it just did some incredible stuff. So I think my favorite thing of the week was that combo. The pad, the product, and the tool. Tool was amazing, and I know we are having a Duetto class, a one tool class, as Todd calls it, at the mothership on the 4th of December. So if anybody's in the area, and you've never used a Duetto from Rupes, I know the 15, everybody knows those tools, but Duetto is a hell of a tool, and I had forgotten that for about 10 years. So that was one of my comment, my combo tool of the week. But I definitely think Stout won the day at the training center. It was just amazing. So great experience for all the students. A great experience having Josh in the building. Can't thank him enough because I got my sinus infection, came back with a rage and knocked me out. And thank God there was a Josh there to teach the class because I was a mess. So with that, we got to start doing some comments.
Let's do it.
Before we get going, make sure you smash that like button, share our story and our show, and follow us if you aren't already.
Yes, and we enjoy the graphic of the Fat Joes having Thanksgiving dinner. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're covering up their cute little faces, but so funny. I'm sure you guys will see the graphic come out on Thanksgiving, but so cute.
Well, did you see the graphic of the Fat Joe in the training center?
Yeah, I did.
He's getting around, man.
Telling you, he's the next tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, no.
You know what? I might put him in a swimsuit.
Oh, gosh. You know what is actually a good idea, though, is you could do temporary tattoos, Fat Joe.
Yes.
Tattoos.
Yeah.
Temporary.
Come
on.
Oh, gosh. I love all the questions coming up. Lindsay's going to have all sorts of questions to answer.
Yes, I do.
Very cool. All right. Well, let's get in. So we've got lots of good mornings, obviously. Lots of good mornings. Good morning from Puerto Rico. Yes, he's always here, right? That's so great.
That's why he's first. There you go. Hydra Detailing is with us today. So that's
great. Nice.
And speak of the devil, look at that.
Josh Pierce.
Yay.
Good morning.
We missed you at our show.
Yes, we did. Yes, Justin, good morning. PNS Portland, good morning. Good morning. I love it when hand pink's waving. It's always funny, and then we learn about what the emojis are. Good morning, Gabriel.
All right.
Good morning. Thomas. So Thomas came from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yep, he flew.
Warrior.
It took him all day to get to Oregon. And he got in late and he went to the class and then he went back to the hotel and he left real early and
crazy. Had 3 flights home. Man.
Did an awesome job.
Yeah.
He really loved getting to meet you guys. Obviously I rave about you. So
well, I'm looking forward to getting out in his neck of the woods this year and hopefully we can connect up with him on his coast so he doesn't have to fly out.
Yeah, maybe I'll fly out there, payback.
Hey, there you go.
There you go. There you go. Kron, good morning. Hydra, I have some questions.
All right, we're ready, and he's coming up here in a second with his first questions.
All right. Good morning from Orange County, California.
Here we go.
It's early in Orange County.
Yeah.
It's early.
All right.
Sydney.
Hydra, I know. Does reflect bead or sheet duration of fog resistance on the inside of the front windshield during winter conditions outside, and release date at TRC Europe. So it beads. It does not sheet. The duration of the fog resistance, not really sure, because again, that's totally going to depend on a lot of different factors. I've had it on my mirror in my bathroom now for probably 6 months and it's still there. So that's a hard one to say. I think it's going to be a really long time though. My own personal car, I keep cleaning with it, so I don't ever let it wear out. So I'm not sure about that. And then on the outside for during winter conditions, again, it is an SiO2 based glass finisher, but that's going to depend on how often you wash it and how rough the winter is. I mean, there's just all those factors, right? But it's going to be, I'm going to say, a good couple months, but glass is a different animal than paint. And release date at TRC Europe, I do not know, because we do not have the release date for the US yet. However, I have heard from a little birdie that it is coming sooner than we thought. So I think we are just waiting on labels. So look for that before the end of the year for sure.
Yeah, I would suggest that even if we got it tomorrow, it probably would be the first of the year in Europe, just for travel time and all the other for shipping. So but it will not be like end of the second quarter thing. It'll be like first of the year. So
So I think most of you know that we have a team that gets the products prior to release.
I don't think anyone knows that except for the team.
Oh, no, some people know. They obviously know because they see videos, right? So there's a team.
I guess that's true.
There's a special team that gets selected that gets our pre-release products to try out, give their opinion, all that kind of stuff. So Lindsay did receive one of the pre-release packages. Obviously, we know she fell in love with the wipes. But what do you think about the Reflect, since we're on the subject?
I mean, I'm ready for 55-gallon bucket of it. It's implemented in our details now. So on the inside of the windows, you take care of the real dirty stuff and you're finishing with it for the fog. But because also it's, the no streak is actually real. And then, of course, on the exterior, just right before it goes out the door. Reflect,
slick, right?
Reflect. I can't. Oh, so slick. Yeah, I can't. Even guys who are window challenged, I think will have a great time.
For sure. And what's funny is I was talking to Bob last week, and what's funny is there's a handful of people that have Reflect and have gotten to try to use it. And what I think is so funny is I've already gotten so many messages. It hasn't even released yet, and I've gotten probably 4 messages of people saying, when can we buy it in a gallon? Yeah. And so that's how it's going to go, just to give you guys a heads up. Like everyone's like, how do we get a gallon? The pint's not going to be enough. So I'm super excited for that product to come out.
I will say that's the bad thing about being on the team of new releases, because then you're hooked. And then you're like, oh man. Yeah. What am I going to do in the meantime?
Right. I know.
Well, it won't be in a gallon right away, but you can buy it by the case, and there are 12 pints in a case. So go that way. It's going to be pretty cool, and I'm excited for it. But,
it smells good.
Get ready for gallons.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. You put it on the interior, and your interior kind of has that nice fragrance as well.
Yeah.
Yep. It does. Yep. Yeah. So Pittsburgh dates, I can guarantee you I booked a date for the 1st of March. That's a guaranteed date. That's firmed up. But there will be another set of dates for Pittsburgh. That's all I can tell you. I don't know when that'll be.
Go Steelers.
Yeah. So Justin asked, when's the upcoming Pittsburgh class? Keith just answered that. And then when will the release of Reflect glass cleaner? So we just went over that as well, a couple weeks before the end of the year. We're on it. Everyone's asking for it. Alex, good morning. All right, Sam, Sydney, you mentioned an acid wash in the podcast with the red Mercedes Sprinter van. What was your process like? Also, have you had any issues with absolute clogging in your Chemtrol with the 2 14-to-1 setup? So let's go with the acid first. So my process for doing an acid wash, I do not spray it directly on the surface, especially that big of a surface, because you could definitely miss some little dots. And so I actually spray it onto a coating applicator, and I actually apply the water spot remover like a coating. So I work in small sections. So I apply it like a coating, let it dwell for just a minute or two, and then I deactivate it and wash that area, dry it, and I just work like that. So I worked in areas, and then I always started from the bottom down, so that when I rinsed it, I didn't have any acid running down onto the surface. So that worked out good. It wasn't easy, but it was, if that makes sense. The one thing I will say, for those that know the story, wear a darn mask. When doing water spot removal on a Sprinter van, I think I about killed myself. And so, yeah, really no big deal. That process, like using the applicator, awesome method. Issues with absolute clogging in my Chemtrol. I believe it's at a 256 to 1. Not sure where the True 14, that's very specific. I think Keith and I set it to 256 to 1. So it has been running through my Chemtrol for, gosh, Keith, what is that? Since Absolute came out, really. Keith and I kind of came and we dialed it in. We measured everything out. We did a whole science experiment to make sure that it was the absolute correct dilution. We had beakers. We had the whole thing out. And it has clogged at the, what's that called? Like at the tip into the machine.
Tip, yeah.
Yeah. So not down in the one that's in the bottle, but up at the top. And honestly, it's probably been there at least 2.5 years, over 2.5 years. And I probably only had to clear that twice. So, and really that you should do that with any chemical. That's not an absolute thing. That's just a maintenance on your equipment type issue with the Chemtrol. So, but not really. Not like you would think. And definitely, we're going back to when, Absolute was chunky, right? And it still didn't have any issues. So it did not clog because of Absolute being a little bit thicker, for sure. So yeah, it's great. There's nothing better than Absolute on tap. Nothing better.
I got 2 taps.
Yeah, you do, but you don't have no Absolute on tap.
That's not true. I have 2.
Do you?
Downstairs and upstairs.
I guess I didn't look at your upstairs one.
Nope.
Was downstairs on tap?
Yes, it was. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
That's because that's what I filled my bucket with.
Yeah.
But I had to use hot water for you.
Oh, well, that's why I didn't know. Mine has hot water coming through it.
I'll work on that.
That's next level, yeah. When you have hot water feeding your Chemtrol, that's next level.
Yeah. I'm not spoiled. You're spoiled.
Yeah, that's called Sid's tip.
That's bougie detailing. That's
bougie detailer.
All right, Travis. Good morning from Missouri. Question. I washed my truck this weekend, which is a crew cab long bed F350. I used crystal wash, then foamed with pearl, and did a contact wash with radiance. Lindsay, what do you think about that?
I think that's a lot. But the reason I say that I think it's a lot is because I just feel like there's a little too many steps. I don't feel like we need to do 2 soaps. But I do see where you're going with this. You use the pearl to, kind of deactivate and get all the crystal wash and everything that the crystal wash pulled out of the paint.
But I don't know that he's saying that he foamed it with pearl.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he rinsed it off and did a contact wash or if he just went to contact
wash.
That was going to
be that was going to be my feedback. So typically when I foam a car, I like to just go straight into the contact wash. I don't rinse it. It's a step you do not need to do. However, if you're doing what you did, you really should rinse the pearl off and then use the radiance, because if you're doing just the contact wash, why can I not say that word today? If you're doing the contact wash with radiance,
I'm live. I can't say it out loud.
I know, right? If you're doing the contact wash, you're really not doing much with the radiance.
Got him.
If it can't contact the paint. So in this scenario, you would have wanted to rinse the pearl off and then do the contact wash. But honestly, when you're using crystal wash, that's doing so. Yeah, it's great if you like to do that many processes. But in this one specifically, you're going to have to rinse before the radiance if you want to get any benefit of the radiance. Now, if you wanted to foam and do a contact wash, you could either do pearl for both, or my favorite wash using this method is actually to do crystal wash, frostbite, and frostbite in my bucket.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say pearl. I used pearl for a long time until frostbite came out. And that's because most of us, whether it's social media induced or what, but we love that foam. Just lay it on as thick as you can get it, dripping everywhere. And that's going to be your frostbite. And what I like about it is it actually sticks to the car. Yeah. Unlike pearl, pearl is just a little different.
Yeah.
Well, pearl was never designed as a foaming, foam cannon wash. So it's a great hand wash soap, but it was never designed as a foam cannon wash. So if you foam it on, it's just going to give you more of a slurry than a kind of a thick foam.
So basically what we're saying is we would crystal wash it, frostbite it, then rinse it, and then do a contact with a radiance to seal the deal.
Yeah, if you want to use radiance, rinse before. You only want the radiance touching the surface if you want to be benefiting from radiance. Now, Lindsay is a huge fan of radiance, but radiance, honestly, I do radiance washes when I'm just rinsing off my car, contact wash with radiance in the bucket. I'm not usually foaming if I'm doing a radiance wash, to be honest. That's kind of like my bougie wash, and I love it, and customers love to do that themselves. So, yeah.
And next time though, he won't need to do the crystal. He won't need to do the pearl because he's had the radiance on there. There was about 3 months that I didn't find time to coat my new 4Runner. So I was like, okay, we're only using radiance and drying it with Bead Maker until I have time to coat this. And it acted like it was coated. Granted, I washed it once a month, but it saved it until I could get it in.
Yeah, radiance is an amazing wash, but you do need it to have full contact with the paint surface to get any benefit out of it. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so are we ready for a little controversy? Next comments coming up. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm nervous.
Hydrogel. Any date Defender will have a V2. The reason why Defender isn't popular is because many people personally find that it doesn't last more than 2 months or a while longer for sure compared to other brands. I've never heard that. I also haven't heard that Defender isn't popular, but no. And to be honest, we'll probably never have a V2. If you guys have seen how we hold out on Bead Maker, Bead Maker's a great product, so there won't be a V2. Defender was the higher content SiO2 spray that came out. I'm not sure on this because honestly, Defender for me lasts months. I mean, more than 6 months. Yeah. Now, what I do think is a turning point, and this is kind of going back to what was your prep and what was your process before doing Defender. If you're just washing your car and slapping Defender on there, it's only going to last however long your surface was. If you use the Reset Clay Towel, or my favorite is Crystal Wash, if you're getting that surface really clear before you're applying the Defender, the better chance it's going to have to actually cross-link with the paint. So that would be my question. I don't ever see that Defender's not lasting, and we don't hear that on our end. So that's the best way that I can answer that.
Yeah, I mean, we typically treat Defender like a 6 month to 1 year coating product. Mm-hmm. So, when you do that, you prep the whole surface as if you're doing a coating type prep. Now, you may not do the polish portion, but you're going to do a clay or a chemical decon. You're going to do a paint prep wipe down after you do your wash. Yeah. And that's the other question I would ask. Are you guys applying this thing wet? And if that's the case, then you're not getting the result you want. Right. It's a dry application product on a prepared surface that's kind of ready for, kind of prepped as if it were ready for a coating. And I think that may be why you're not having the results you want to have out of Defender. Because I find that product lasts 6 months to a year almost across the board. And that's the feedback I get from detailers.
Yeah. And so, I mean, almost at this point, almost every vehicle that comes back to my shop has Defender on it in some shape or form. Yeah. And it's still there 6 months to a year later. I mean, I'm getting cars back and I'm talking, they've gone through snow, they've gone through the summer with the bugs and all that, and it's still there. So But like Keith said, I'm always putting it on dry. Every car that comes through here gets crystal wash. Every car that comes through here gets clay with the reset clay towel or sponge. And I do the same process on every single car. And even like really pretty rough surfaces, it's still holding up. So Hydra, if you're still in the comments, let's chat more about how you're applying it, because that's not what we see and that's not what we hear. So let's check back on that. But no, there will not be a V2.
And they're in Europe, so there may be some differences in wash processes, and we have a lot of that. So it may just not be infiltrating the market and being used the way that we intended, and that may be part of your issue. So
yeah. Gabriel says, Sydney, did you talk to Bob? I'm sure he loves the questions. I tagged him and I didn't hear back from him, but I know I can see the look on his face and I can hear the answers. So
was it about labels?
It was, yes.
I knew it.
Yeah, he's fully aware.
Poor Bob.
He's fully aware. Yep. Good morning, Bradley. I wonder if Bradley Bradshaw's ever going to get his banner.
Well, at this point, I think we may have to make a personal visit to get that executed.
Yeah. Daryl C says, love Lindsay, LOL. I own a Mustang GT.
There you go.
Watch out for those crowds.
Yeah, right. Travis Aldridge says, good morning. Oh, we already had this one. Oh, no, we didn't. Same question, same guy.
Everybody drives the same truck.
Well, yeah, I think this is the same one. He just kind of changed it. So wash the weekend F50, very large truck. F350, I used crystal wash, then foamed pearl, and then contact wash with radiance, and used Bead Maker for a drying aid. Any suggestions? So we already beat this one to death. Yes, we already beat this one to death. You probably do not need to use Bead Maker as your drying aid if using Radiance. Radiance has a drying aid in it. So still, Travis, like A for effort. We love that you're using all that product, but the actual answer is you probably don't need to use Bead Maker as your drying aid. Radiance should not need a drying aid. But if you get great results out of it, by all means do it.
Well, I mean, he's killing the water thing for sure with the drying aid process. I mean, like you say, Radiance will do its own job in sheeting off the water when he's rinsing. But hey, you want to use Bead Maker, I'm all about it.
Yeah,
it's a great drying aid.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question from Puerto Rico.
First from Puerto Rico says, Hydro Detailing, which one is Reflect? The only one I sort of remember is Reflection, but it's for boats, if my memory serves me well. So we have a product in Babe's Boat Care that's called, what's it called? Reflection?
Reflection, yeah.
Yeah, and that is a exterior surface sealant, SaO2-based sealant, and then Reflect is the product that came out at SEMA, and it is the new glass finisher, which is also SiO2 based, and so just really great on glass. So yes, two different lines. One's glass, one is for the boats.
That is the actual what will look like
that's the official
label.
Yeah,
when we get them.
Yep, for sure.
Put a little fun.
Yeah. All right. Look at Hydra answered. It's the new fog glass sealant from PNS released on SEMA together with the other releases. Yep.
There we go.
Details official. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Sneak peek. These guys will be on the show soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Daryl C., my favorite is Absolute.
Absolute.
He answered, he answered that during what's our favorite product of the week. Absolute is like mine every single week.
Yeah.
Details official. Joel and Sal love the haters live stream. Made me laugh. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that. I missed that one.
Nervous.
I gotta keep those lines clean. I think he's talking about the white. Yeah. Yep. Frank, Keith, do you have any dates for that training in Pittsburgh?
March
1st.
Nice. Good memory, Lindsay.
There will be another week.
Remember that.
Yeah. Just book my flight. No, I'm just kidding.
Details official. Self levels amazing. Full send. Yes, absolutely. Couldn't live without it. Have you ever tried that, Lindsay? The full send?
That's what I'm saying.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. Holy moly. All right, Tom. My guy Kirby says Car Supplies Warehouse has Solvent X for the Black Friday sale. Can you tell me more about it? I've never used it. How crazy is that?
I don't even know what it is.
It's like a solvent. It's like a adhesive tar remover type.
Tar and adhesive remover. Solvent X is a mineral spirit based product. It is a true Pro Series product. It has been with us for a long time. Pardon me, my cold is still coming back. No, great product. I'm surprised it's part of their Black Friday sale. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, if you guys are looking to remove road tar and some adhesive on the exterior of the paint, and I recommend only exterior use for this product, no interior use, because it does have a solvent smell and you don't want that in the inside of the car. But very strong product. Great product. Been with us forever. I've sold a lot of it.
Sorry, I have to keep getting up. It's drop-off hour.
Oh gosh, no problem. No problem. I'm going to have some guy coming here in just a few minutes too.
Is it Mike?
No, Mike's at work. No, Tristan curb-rashed his car, and I found a guy that does wheel repair mobile.
Yeah,
great.
I have a guy that I have come into the shop and does that all the time.
That's so cool. Yeah, so he's coming at 8:30, so I have to get up and open the garage door for him. So Danny says, sorry I'm late. Good morning from Willamette Valley. He's neck of the woods.
Right back at you from the Willamette Valley. There you go.
First from Puerto Rico saying hi to my guy Kirby. Gabriel, amen, Keith. The Duetto is a great tool.
Yeah, I hadn't played with it in probably 10 years, and I just was like, wow, this is really good.
I don't think I've ever tried one. Sarah Riles. Sarah says, good morning, everyone. I have a question on Crystal Wash. Is it okay to use on coated vehicles because it seemed to just bead on? Also, Wipe and Shine and Rehab were absolutely amazing on a 2024 Yukon. Crystal Wash is safe to use on everything. So every coated car that comes into my shop gets Crystal Wash. Basically, I clear the slate on any car that comes in the shop. I think, Lindsay, you're the same way. You've got a 55-gallon jug of it. Crystal Wash is amazing. It goes on everything. I like to just start with a clean slate. And honestly, the efficiency and some of the frustrations, I used to just use it every now and then. And now every single car they pull in, they get doused with Crystal Wash. Not quite in the same way that Lindsay does it. She really puts it on. But
keeping them in business here.
Yeah, but I do every single car with Crystal Wash. And honestly, regardless of what service you're doing, it makes it go better. It just kind of cleans the slate. So absolutely okay on coated vehicles. It should still dry. Make sure you're putting it on dry, not wet, because if you put it on wet, it won't attach to the surface. And then Wipe and Shine, love Wipe and Shine. It never gets enough mentions. And then Rehab. I can't with Rehab. It's so good.
Just Rehab.
It's just so good. It's so good.
Sydney needs some rehab. Let's just be
Yeah.
She needs rehab for her rehab. There we go.
Yeah, totally. Danny, Stout versus Classic. I'm still a fan of Classic. So I'm assuming he's meaning what's the difference between Stout and Classic. We are still fans of Classic as well. Stout is actually going to take the place of Legend, not Classic. So we will still keep Classic. It will still be in that space. Classic is great in all of its own ways. But it is, keeping in mind, it is older technology. So I have yet in all of my testing to find just a more, honestly, scratching and marring resistant coating. Classic is crazy. However, it lacks some of the flashy stuff that we have now with coatings, right? The super deep gloss, the super crazy slickness, the super fast curing. Like, it kind of lacks all of that, but in its own right is such a good coating. I still use it for trim. I still use it for wheels. I still use it for paint. Probably, I let my customers choose, and maybe 1 in every 15 coatings ends up being a Classic. But so Stout is obviously much longer term. It's much more durable. We're still finding that it's holding up, from scratching and marring in car washes quite well. But it has that insane depth and gloss. Classic has more of a cool undertone, so you don't quite see it as much. Stout's going to have more of that warm tone that's going to give you kind of that, old Carnauba wax feel and look, which people love. And so it's very different. Stout's going to be more in the Legend range. Classic is not going anywhere. But you really almost can't compare Classic and Stout. they're just so different.
They're
so
just
different
levels. Yeah.
Yeah, totally
I
different.
still love me some classic, but yeah,
Oh, me too. Yeah.
You said it, it's evolutionary difference.
Yeah.
That's really the thing. It's just evolutionary difference. It's 10 years gap between the, classic and what is stout, which is, kind of current technology.
I think that's something to touch on that's really important about detailing is, technology is always changing. So in order to keep up with that, that's kind of where these products come in handy,
Yeah. Yep. Very, very true. Very true. Yep.
All right, here we go. Here's a fun one.
Daryl C says you have to try VRP by Chemical Guys on the tire. It's not glossy and leaves nice tire nice and no sling. I actually have tried that multiple times and still not my favorite. Honestly, I don't really care to put a cream on tires. It's not a bad dressing, not by any means, but I'm still gonna tip my hat to Full Sand Dynamic.
She's gonna go the easier route.
I'm gonna go the easier.
It's gonna take her way too long.
Yeah, not about it. Now, Wipe and Shine, you'll get me to use, but Wipe and Shine.
It's still a pretty quick applying process, though.
Yeah.
It really is. With flag tip brush, it goes really quick.
Yeah. And the other thing about VRP is that, I don't mind doing the brush method with Wipe and Shine, and it actually works a little bit better if the tire's a little bit wet still. And VRP, I mean, the tire has to be perfectly dry. So not a bad dressing, just not what's that? Not my cup of tea.
Not your cup of tea.
Matt Hornsby. Hey, y'all. Now, he was at the Car Supplies warehouse. You remember him, right, Keith? Matt? Yeah. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Thomas Oleski. Let's do it. I think he means you come to.
I knew what he meant.
I was tracking on that one. I knew that.
Yeah. Wagner says, good morning we have lots of Pennsylvania people today. PA, I have a cordless orbital sander, W12000 OPM, and a 5-inch vacuum plate. Pad recommendation for polish primarily and mild cut.
Oreo pad.
I was like, come on, Keith, say it.
The microfiber pad, man, that thing finishes so well, especially with rehab. It'd be perfect for that. And that throw is pretty simple.
Do we recommend using a cordless orbital sander for polishing paint? Is it working in the right way?
It's going to be like using a Duetto a lot. Yeah, it's a 12 millimeter throw, so that's probably
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Not her cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we always recommend, and I think Lindsay will go with this one, we recommend using a product or a tool for what a product or a tool is designed to be used for.
Yeah.
That's generally when you get best results, right? Yeah. As a manufacturer says, for best results, use as intended. Yeah. So that said, we'll move on to Adam Garvin.
Adam Garvin, hashtag Bead Maker. Looking forward to seeing the new shop. Congrats.
Come on in. Come down Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thanksgiving Day is new shop day over here. So you're more than welcome, Adam. I'll even feed you.
Nice. Are you having Thanksgiving at the new shop?
Who delivers?
I think the Chinese food place will be open.
Oh, yes.
There you go. Gary says, hello, all. Happy Thanksgiving. Man, I'm so excited. I can't wait. It's like my favorite day all year.
I do love Thanksgiving. Maybe someone should bring me Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, dang it. I would, but I'm really far away. I found out. Mike, Detailed Image says stout is shipping on 11/29. Nice.
You're really far away. Yeah, I know. I drove a 1979 C10 all the way to your house.
In June?
Okay.
It's a different story now. It's a different story. Thomas says, I need Reflect. I know. We all do.
We all need to reflect.
Thomas, you're not getting my bottle.
Yeah.
That gets locked up in my office.
Sarah, who got to use both of these in Chicago, I can't wait to get the wipes and Reflect. I hope Bob's watching. I hope he gets to see all these people that really can't wait for Reflect.
Where are you at, Bob?
He's here. He's watching. Here.
He didn't say good morning yet.
He did. He did in the text. Yeah.
He likes to be stealth.
That's It sounds like.
If he shows his face, then too many people start asking for stuff for 5 gallons.
You're like, labels. You know what? I need a new label for my cup.
Yeah. Do we have new stickers? First from Puerto Rico saying hi to Mike. Gabriel, the express wipes are great. Can't wait till they're in Europe. First bucket is empty.
Yep.
Mine's almost empty too. Yeah, mine's almost empty too. I got to order some more.
Well, I can tell you the crew was busy at work all week when we were down there, Josh and I, doing express wipes. So
I want to see how that process is.
Me too. I feel like we could probably make a blooper reel out of that. I'm gonna have to.
Bob just texted. He is here, so he's watching.
And his label maker is broken today, guys. So just keep it down.
Yeah. Hydra, which product from PNS is best for removing road salts, chassis cleaning, and is it safe for electric hybrid cars? So I just use EnviroClean.
I love EnviroClean.
I use EnviroClean, and honestly, Crystal Wash does a great job at removing salt as well. So if something comes in, because we do use the salt brine here in Idaho, so I usually, if it's built up where I can actually see salt on the surface, I'll use EnviroClean. But like I mentioned before, every car gets Crystal Wash. That seems to take care of the issue, especially. I've trained my customers to kind of keep their car clean and not let it build up. So I don't see the buildup like I used to. And so Crystal Wash usually does a great job on salt as well. Safe for electric
and clean cars.
Yeah. Is it safe for electric and hybrid cars? I don't see why not. On the underside of vehicles, I would use EnviroClean. And for that, I usually do EnviroClean in an IK multi so that I can pretty soak it down and then spray it out. Yeah, so EnviroClean's always been kind of my go-to for salt, but Crystal Wash does a great job as well.
I have Enviro on tap as well.
Nice. Alan Medcraft, Power Team right here. Yes.
Love you, Alan.
Scots have weighed in.
We all love Alan. Cron, should Inspiration Radiance only be used on a coated vehicle? Nope, you can use it on whatever you'd like. Just remember from earlier in the show, use it on a rinsed vehicle, not on top of foam.
Pro tip.
Yep.
Or Sydney will judge you.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
All right. Hydra, any product of PNS that can be diluted to use as a wiper fluid? I don't believe so, right, Keith? I mean, I know some people have tried to use Absolute, but there's not the stabilizers to keep it from freezing. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's your problem. I mean, in the summer, I guess you could probably get away with TrueView at 10-1, but I mean, just use a wiper fluid. They have a different base to them, and they're designed so they don't freeze.
It's the same as that you wouldn't take wiper fluid and put it in a spray bottle and use it to clean your glass. No. Otherwise, right? It's the same thing. So just use wiper fluid.
Unfortunately, we don't make wiper fluid. Well, fortunately, I think for Dave and Bob, we don't make wiper fluid.
Dave's like, no.
Yeah. Frank, does Reflect have a release date? Lindsay, does Reflect have a release date?
Yes, and we don't know what it is.
I was like, I don't know the answer, so I don't think so.
No, I was laughing because I've said it so many times. No, we don't know, but it'll be before the end of the year. Promise. Bob's listening. He's on it.
He's doing the labels right now.
Yeah, he might actually be at the office hand printing labels at this point. Jeff, good morning.
Hey, Jeff.
Corey Taylor.
Woo!
Hydra. I've used TrueView for washer fluid in a pinch, but cost-wise, I would just buy a gallon of dedicated washer fluid. Yes.
My man.
In a pinch.
By the way, for those who don't know,
I'm all out.
Corey is a mechanic by trade, and that's what he does full time. So listen to your mechanic and do what he told you to do. There you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, Hydra, Corey Taylor, maybe buy a gallon and dilute it. Just use
wiper fluid. Yeah, just buy the wiper fluid. It's not that expensive.
Stuart, good morning. When doing a hybrid rinseless, pre-foam and rinse, and then absolute, I'm thinking that I need to have the dilution ratio of 128:1, given that the mix of water on the car no, you're good. Just keep it 256:1.
Send it.
Yep. No reason to use extra. And honestly, at 128:1, when you're using it as a wash, you might get some streaking, to be honest. 128:1 is more a clay lube dilution. Sarah, I love to use Bead Maker as a drying aid. Is there a way we can make Bead Maker into a soap so it's one step? That would be, I would use Radiance. Honestly, if you haven't used Radiance, you're going to get that same effect of doing a wash and having it look just like Bead Maker does. So it's obviously a totally different sealant within Radiance, but you're going to get the same outcome and you're not going to need a drying aid. So try Radiance. That's my suggestion.
I have heard a rumor that people have put Bead Maker in a foam cannon. I have not tried that, and it sounds expensive, but could be cool. Could be worth the try.
It is absolutely worth it when you're doing like a big vehicle. Kyle Clarkson would have put me on.
So yeah, Kyle told me with RVs.
Yeah. So I've done it on box trucks. The other place that's really great is if you're doing a wash on a motorcycle. It's great as a drying aid on a motorcycle in a foam cannon because you get in all the nooks and crannies, and then you use a blower and you blow that thing out, and you're done. So the durability is not going to be there, but it's certainly a really cool effect, and it does kind of froth a little bit when you foam can. And there's no dilution; just stick that bottle on there straight, and good luck.
Maybe I'll do that later for fun.
Yep. Sydney's texting. Look out.
Well, no. So the wheel repair guy's almost here. So I'm like, let me know when you're here. I'll run out, open the garage door, and we'll be good. So yeah. All right. Kron, Defender's lasted me 6 months, but every washer I put Bead Maker on is topper. Sure. In my case, I put Bead Maker on first and then Defender over it, but you can do it either way. They work together.
Yep.
Alan Medcraft, how can I miss these faces any more and more, even though I've just seen you? Well, because it's already been a month, but you know, we're trying to figure out when we get to see your face next because we can't wait. It's like we got to know, we got to have it scheduled because we love us some Alan. Chris Kemp, with Stout having a faster flash time, do you recommend multiple applicator pads to do a vehicle? No. Nope, totally fine. So when we're talking flash, we're talking once it is doing its thing with paint. So it does not affect the applicator. It's not like it's hardening on the applicator. The flash time is all about the paint. So once that coating hits the paint, it does its thing, and then you need to get the excess off. So no, I've not been switching applicators. I do the same. The other reason you wouldn't want to switch applicators, and we learn this in our classes that we do, is you go through a ton of product because that first time that you're putting it on the applicator, you really have to load it up. So if you are using multiple applicators, you're going to go through a lot more product because of the priming process. So
yep. Yeah. I know that from when we tag team coating cars. I'm like, oh man, we're loading 2 of them.
Yeah. Yep. Carlos says, good morning from Miami. Good morning. Jeff, Hayden is in the house. Good to know.
Is that Hayden from the class?
I'm not sure.
So. Probably.
First from Puerto Rico says, I use rinseless for windshield washer fluid at 256:1, and it works great, but obviously we are summertime all year long. So in cold places, you might need something different. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
You better pull
the washer fluid.
Sorry, go ahead.
Wagner, a continuation from my earlier comment question. Will my ROS work with your recommended pad and Playmaker, which I purchased, or is a longer throw unit needed and different pad?
No, small throw with Playmaker will be fine.
Yeah.
Playmaker can be used with a palm orbital and a foam pad for application for protection. It probably won't cut as much as you'd like Playmaker to, but Playmaker is an all-in-one, so it's going to leave the protection. You're going to get that as long as you lay down the product on the paint. So
I haven't played with Playmaker.
Great product. Yeah. It's got Bead Maker in it.
Yeah. It's a all-in-one. Yeah. So not a one-step, it's an all-in-one. So it's
so that would be good for like maybe fleet deals.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Nathan says, good morning, guys. Thank you for answering our questions. What are the best rehab free ride pad combos? All of them. What's your favorite, Lindsay?
Blue.
Mine is maroon. Love me some maroon pads.
Yeah,
because I like to
blue
just
and
get
orange
it done.
all day.
Yeah, blue, orange, and maroon. You really can't go wrong with any of
Go
those
Broncos.
three. Yeah, right. I do
blue
like
and orange.
yeah, I do like the blue and orange, but man, if you guys have not tried out the maroon, you got to try it because that will do some serious cutting. So on both cars and in the class, we ended up using maroon, right?
Yeah.
So really hammered cars, you're going to end up at maroon for sure. X6M Ghost says, good morning, guys. Good morning. First from Puerto Rico saying good morning back. Scott Graves, good morning from a chilly Michigan. Brr.
Yeah, I bet.
Scott, Keith is enjoying your cup that you brought us. He was using it last week. Humberto, good morning for the coffee. Ravishing Details Mobile says, do you have a 10-year ceramic coating or a lifetime ceramic coating? Man, we have got the controversial questions today. No. And honest, no. Should we just leave it at no? No, because really, what's a life? Well, I mean, what is that? I guess if you put stout on a classic car, it's going to last. It's like that's so subjective.
That's what I was going to say. As a business standpoint, where I do multiple coatings a week, I don't ever really agree on advertising for a 10+ year coating because so many different things can change that, whether it's the usage of the vehicle, whether the way it's stored, and I don't know about you guys, but a lot of my customers are getting cars every 2 to 3 years.
Right.
So if we sell them a 10-year coating, we could potentially slow down that customer return in a way. But like you said, if you have a classic and you put stout on it, they're only taking it out a couple times a year or when it's nice out. I always tell them that, hey, this is recommended for 5 years or whatever, 50,000 miles. How long is it going to take to put 50,000 miles on a classic?
Right. Forever. So, yeah. It's whole life.
So
and
it's just kind of a different way to word it versus being set in stone on that 10-year protection.
Yeah. And the other thing I feel like is, even the best coatings, let's take Legend, for instance, is a 5-year coating, right? And I've had customers that go through the car wash 3 times a week. They've got a black vehicle. It's a Toyota. It was 10 years old to begin with. They do construction, they hunt, all of this, right? So I actually had this exact situation. And Legend on that truck only lasted 2.5 years because of the life the truck has lived. And so, I would never want to, and let's put this clear. The coating was not gone. The truck was scratched to high heaven. The water behavior was gone. The truck needed to be recoated. That's where me as the detailer, to give the customer the results he wants, we needed to recoat the truck. Now, was a bird dropping going to eat through it? No, but it didn't look good anymore, right? Because of the life he lived. If you sell somebody a lifetime coating, what do you do when it's all dull and scratched from the car wash? What do you do? Yeah. So even if there was one that said it was a 10-year coating, I personally would still not advertise that as that in my business. I would rather be the winner on the back end of continuing to tell a customer who does take excellent care of their car, we can wait 1 more year. We can wait 1 more year. I have a customer right now who has had Inspiration Classic on her Raptor for 5 years, still looks phenomenal because she takes care of it. So I would rather
under deliver, over under
promise, over deliver. That's it. Yeah.
I got distracted. There was something flying across the window.
Yeah. So
weird out there.
PNS, So PNS will never advertise a 10-year coating or a lifetime ceramic coating.
No, so let's address that real quick because it has been a thing that I got a lot of phone calls this last week on. We are telling folks the durability of stout is about a 5-year coating, right? We're going to say 5 to 7 is the range, but again, depending on wear, use, drivability, all the other things that go with the car. But it has been a topic of conversation. I know a lot of our partners it doesn't say on the box, and I don't want to say that's intentional, but it certainly is something we prefer not to throw a number at and prefer to actually talk about the quality of the product and its performance and go from there. So
And speaking of that, I like to encourage installers when we do the classes and we certify them, I like to encourage them to really tailor it to your customer.
Yes.
So if they have, a classic, if they've got a 77 Trans Am, quote them on that.
I want that.
If they have a brand new Volvo, quote them on that. I have one that I'm working on that's going to be for sale, by the way. It's the Smokey and the Bandit one.
What color? Is it the tan?
Black. No, it's the black with the gold hood. Yeah, with the gold bird. Yep, I'll show you a picture.
There we go.
But if they've got, a 2004 FJ Cruiser that we're just trying to freeze time, and it lives outside, it lives in the sun, he washes it once a year, I'm going to quote him a different time frame. So I always quote it to my customer specific. I don't put a number to the product, because you're also giving them something that they're like, oh, if they get to 4 years, they're gonna be like, this didn't last 5 years,
Yeah.
So I like to just really personalize it to their vehicle and not get into the weeds on how long the product lasts. And I think that's just the more responsible thing to do. I mean, we watch all these other coating, and when people say, oh, it's a 5-year coating, that literally just blows my mind, because it's like, it could be shorter, it could be longer, like be specific to that vehicle. So yes, it lives in the 5 to 7 year space, but try to be more personalized to your customer.
I think another way to capitalize on that is personally, when I have a customer that, they're like, well, how long is this going to last? You also can educate them on maintenance, and whether you teach them how to maintain it or you start maintaining it, because most of my customers have us maintain it. It's an easy couple $100 a month, and now you're just ensuring that coat is doing okay. And it's going to last that long, if not longer, because it's maintained the way it needs to be. I do sometimes say that this is a 5-year coating, and then I would tailor it, like you said, to the customer.
Yeah.
But for quick advertisement, we're just like, hey, this isn't just a 6-month thing type deal.
Right.
I definitely educate the customer.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Tony says, good morning, gang. What advice can you give on getting baked off brake dust off black glossy wheels? I've tried crystal wash topped with brake buster, and it's not getting it done. Lindsay, do you run into this? I don't really run into this too often.
So I'm more of wondering if it's actually baked on brake dust, because here in where I am, and when people would go to like Bend, Oregon, or over there towards Sydney, they're getting all of that red rock. And when that red rock gets in there, it looks like brake dust, but it's a whole nother animal. And what it's doing is it's already eaten the coating or the first layer of the wheels off.
I'm going to step away for just a minute. You guys take this.
Oh my gosh, we're in charge. Party.
Yeah, I would agree. I would think, Lindsay, that might be where in the sense that either the coating is getting deteriorated, the clear coat, or if they're powder coated. I mean, now you're getting pitting and all sorts of other things where the powder coating is just dulling and fading, and there's really no recovery on that. Even polishing a powder coat's not going to come back. You might have to look at what that is. I mean, wheel acid may work on those, but again, if they're powder coated, I'd be really leery about deteriorated powder coating with wheel acid. So
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, if you did a test spot with wheel acid and nothing happened, then you know for sure that we're out of luck.
Yeah, I'd put the wheel acid on an applicator and apply it in a single spot. Yep, and see what it looks like. Yeah. So absolutely would do that. That sounds like you may have more of an issue going on there than just dirty wheels. So
I'm looking at this comment from Carlos that there it is. Hello.
I'm the president of the Lindsay Fans Club. All right.
Carlos is such an amazing guy. We got to work together in El Paso, Texas. That was one of my first events before any. It was my first event doing any kind of detailing as a project. Such a cool guy. His social media skills are insane, and his he has a cool little shop.
Where's he out of?
I don't want to slaughter it. I think it's Costa Rica.
Oh, really? Cool.
I'm pretty sure it's Costa Rica. I could be. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, Carlos. Please don't hate me.
Well, his picture looks like he's next to the warbird, so that's cool.
He is next to the warbird. Yeah, we had so much fun. We got to clean pads together. That was our bond.
Hey, that is a rookie thing at all of the Mafia events. The rookies
he filmed me while I was cleaning pads, so he made me look good.
I think we answered this one. Ravishing Details asked, do we have a 10-year coating or lifetime coating, ceramic coating? I think any coating can be a lifetime coating if you don't drive the car, and any coating can be a 1-year coating if you absolutely beat up the car. So, I think we've kind of answered how we feel on that one. Alex, great to have you on. You're late, but you're here. Happy Monday from the great north. And then, of course, First from Puerto Rico says, good morning, Alex. All right. Good morning and happy Thanksgiving from PNS East Bay. We love our PNS East Bay. Got to spend a lot of time with those guys last week.
Awesome.
They are awesome. We had lots of students in their building. So, all right, Cron, Jamie the cleaner has a video using the bead cannon. Yes, he does. And he has done that. So check that video out if you have not already.
Okay.
But if you want the PNS version of that video, Lindsay, I happen to have a foam cannon video of that as well. All right.
I mean, it sounds pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I think I could probably figure it out.
Yeah. So Alan Medcraft says, hey, when tag teaming, instead of doing half the car each, have one person on spread level and the other one on buffing. Yes. I call that chasing each other around the car.
Oh, yeah, we do that.
Yep. Yeah. Quicker and saves on product. MF's microfibers, I hope is what that means, and applicators. So
hurry up and change the question. She'll judge us.
No, she won't.
Ramiro, good morning. Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Yeah. You guys there too. Ramiro. First from Puerto Rico, saying hi to Ramiro. Corey Taylor. This is funny. I love this. How well does Ballistic finish down? My current heavy cut compound is a pain in the butt to purchase. Ballistic does not finish down at all. Ballistic, we refer to that as rocks in a bottle.
Even though technically it's not, it is.
Right. Yeah. Right. So it doesn't really finish down. You're going to have to go back with the polish, but it'll get some scratches out for sure.
Oh, that's Corey Taylor.
Yeah. Yep.
Corey Taylor, we should talk. I think I can fix you on that pain in the butt purchase. I think I know what he's talking about.
Lindsay has a secret.
Not really a secret.
He knows a guy.
First from Puerto Rico. That's right, Cron. Bill Clinton is in the house. Jeez Louise. Got a new fan here. Hello.
I got to keep it PG now.
Yeah. Turbo 6 Detail says, good morning. Good morning.
Bill Clinton.
They'll just let anybody on the show.
Hydro
Detail.
You need your car detail, Bill Clinton. Fly me out. I got availability Wednesday.
I don't know about that. Hydro Detailing. Bead Maker saved my car during a harsh drive and 2 weeks harsh conditions in Italy to rocky dirt roads to the wine farm. Love it. Defender still lasts on my windows, not on the paint. Did clay, no crystal wash. That's really interesting that it lasts on the windows and not the paint. It should have been the other way around.
Yeah. Are you using that in a wet process or dry process, Hydra? I want to know how you're putting on Defender.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
and interesting that Bead Maker lasted longer. That's very interesting.
Maybe
that almost makes me think that he used it wet.
Either.
Well, and maybe that's the clue that maybe he used it wet because Bead Maker actually lasts longer when you use it wet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Turbo 6 Detail saying, good morning, Humberto and Alex.
Oh, man.
Mike on Faya says, what's the story behind the name PNS? Well, there's many different versions, but it starts with the original version, which is, so Bill Phillips, Bob and Dave's dad, obviously started PNS with their partner, and the last name was Stuber, correct?
Correct.
I don't remember the first name, Stuber. So it stood for Phillips and Stuber, and then later was kind of known as Phillips and Son, and yeah, so it means Phillips and Stuber.
Yep.
Thomas, sounds like rail dust. 90% of today's cars use disc brakes. and the metal dust is literally everywhere nowadays. Maybe use an iron wash. You could try that too. I have totally seen those ones with that breakdown black. And honestly, I've never found anything that takes them off. I really haven't.
Especially on those matte black wheels.
Yeah, and like once that stuff gets baked on, and like, so my car came from Oregon, and remember, Keith, it had matte black wheels, and that stuff was baked on. There was no getting it off. I tried everything, and I ended up having them powder coated, which then they literally strip the paint off, which thus strips that stuff off. But that was and I tried everything on those darn wheels before I had them powder coated, and that stuff was not coming off.
Yeah.
And even with wheel acid, like it was not coming off.
Yeah.
Christabel,
roommate of the year. Yeah, Costa Rica.
Yep.
I want to go there so bad.
Frank, what is the best tire coating to use? Lindsay, what's your favorite tire coating?
Tire coating?
Dressing? Tire coating? Dressing? I don't know.
Dynamic.
Well,
but now I have to try full send. So
yeah.
Currently I use dynamic wheel wells tires. But after tomorrow, I'm going to try full send.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
I'm still stuck on dressed. I like dressed.
Yeah.
That's your fault.
I like dressed.
I've tried that before.
I really like dressed. The thing is it's a commitment, and for it to really be successful, you have to strip the tire, and then you have to stick with it. You can't switch back and forth. That's my only thing with it. But it is a very nice dressing, but it's a commitment.
My customers like the more new tire finish versus real flashy, glossy. So that's why Dynamic's been my hero.
Yeah. All right. Wagner says, what is your pad cleaning process and frequency during a detail? Also, do you clean pads wet or dry? Will a wet pad hinder Playmaker's efficacy? Lindsay, how do you care for your pads?
Well, I can't answer the wet hinder Playmaker because I don't do that. But how I clean my pads, process and frequency, you're going to use multiple pads during a process on a vehicle. I like to blow them out, but also before we wash them, we blow them out, and then we use rags to riches on the pad, and then actually in the washer as well. And then I let them air dry, if that's what he's meaning. But during a detail, I just blow them out and alternate pads.
And how many pads do you use of one type on a car, Lindsay? When you're doing like the Kia we did was a sedan, how many pads would you typically use on that car?
4 or 5.
Okay. Yeah, you're rotating your pad every 2-3 panels.
Yeah. If you're just gonna be able to do a rehab, it's not like you're not really having to put in a ton of muscle work. Yeah.
And I'm the same way exactly. I mean, I probably use anywhere from 6 to 10 pads a car. And that's just because I just happen to have that many pads of each color. So I am bougie like that. But I still blow them out, between every pass. And then I do exactly what Lindsay said. So when I pull them off the machine, I blow them out, and then I spray them down with rags to riches. So I've got that diluted about 16 ounces with 1 ounce of rags to riches. And I spray them and I toss them in a bucket, not a bucket of water, just a dry bucket. And then I wash them when I get to it, which is usually once or twice a week. When I do a load of pads, I throw them in the washer. That to me is the easiest way. I don't have any problems. They come perfectly clean. I don't use a pad washer. I think they're great when you need them. So if you only have 4 pads of one color, a pad washer is great. And in that, I use a combination of Absolute and Rags to Riches as the solution. Awesome. I just personally don't like to use a pad washer because it sprays all over the place, and I have enough pads, so I don't need to use it. Yeah, and I don't need to use it. If you need to use it, they're great. I would recommend, really spinning them out. You want them 80% dry if you're going to use them again. And the main reason for that is because when a pad is wet, the stiffness is, much softer. So if you think of like, what are those scrub daddies? You know how when they're hot, they get much softer, and when they're cold, they get much harder. So if you're looking to get the accurate cut out of a pad, having it wet has made it softer. So you're going to want it mostly dry when you go to use it. And so will water affect the efficacy? No, probably not, but it is going to affect the efficacy of the pad. So also another reason I'm not a fan of using wet pads. If you don't want to put them through the washer, you can certainly use a pad washer at the end of the day, clean all your pads in one go. That's the other thing, is a pad washer during the process really throws me off because it's, breaking.
Switching gears.
Yeah. So if you need to use a pad washer at the end of the day, wash them all, set them out to dry, that's great. I don't like to use them on the fly for sure. But honestly, the washer does a great job.
It does. It's training center because we tend to overuse product because we have new students and they don't really know. I do the same process. We'll blow them out, during the use. And then when we take them off, I put them with rags of riches on them. But what I'll do before I throw them in the washer, because they're usually overloaded with product, is I'll take them and knead them through underneath the water, underneath the sink in the sink, just to knock all the big, the large amount of product out of them. And then I throw them in the washing machine. I lay them out on the table to dry until they're dry, and then we use them again. So, and we've got pad we've used for months and months and months of training, and they work out fine. You'll find you'll get, 10 uses out of a pad that way versus, one pad all the way around the car, and it's gone after half a car. So,
the other thing about using one pad and then switching pads, which a lot of people probably know this, but it's back to that scrub daddy thing where it's going to lose its ability to do the cut and whatnot. So you start on the front of the vehicle with a brand new pad. By the time you get to the end of it, you're like, why aren't these scratches coming out? It's simply just that you need a new pad.
Yep. Sarah says, any more PNS trainings coming back to the Chicago area? Not on tap right now, but I know that, Jason has trainings all the time. I'm not sure if they do product specific trainings, but we don't have any on tap as of right now. But we do.
No, but the director of training is building the schedule, and that may happen.
We do love coming there though. Great.
Yeah, Chicago sounds fun.
Yeah. It's real. Gosh, that place is great. Yeah. Christabel saying hello. That's probably to the best roommate of the year comment. Eric Wright, can you please explain why your new ceramic glass cleaner can be used on the inside of the window? I think it would cause more moisture on the glass. No,
it dries.
It does not. Yeah. It dries really fast. It doesn't cause any moisture at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually acts as an anti-fogger, so it'll prevent moisture in the window.
Juice free. What happened to the ultra black sponge? Nothing. It just became the ultra safe sponge. So still have it. We still have it. It's just, Yep. 404 not found. Good morning, all.
All right, we're getting close to the hour mark, and we've been on for an hour and a half, so we got to wrap this one up.
Wow, we talk a lot.
Juice free IADK spray polish and a pad washer is a great combo. If it works for you, knock yourself out. Go for it. 404, love my Lake Country 4000 pad washer. Saves a lot of time. I did not intend to, insult the pad washer. They're great. They're just not for me. But yes.
Yeah, and you actually have one, so,
I do have one. Yeah, totally. I do have one. I think they're great.
My only complaint, like you said, was that it was messy.
Yeah.
That was, I used it at the Warbird project, and it was just, my president here, Carlos, can tell you I was probably doing it wrong. Yeah. I don't know. It was messy.
Yep. All right. What's up, Detail Gang? Buff and Shine needs to come out with a sponge. I believe they did. Just ordered the entire PNS interior line. Awesome.
You'll be happy.
You'll be happier. Yep.
Jeff C. Buff and Shine makes sponges for their brands. Yep.
All right. Last comment.
Anna, the Rag Company has great sponges. Yep.
Yes, they do.
Quality Car Care Products Pro says, have a great holiday week, you guys too.
Yes. It's go time.
Yes. So quick thing that I want to mention is because we've gotten lots of questions over the weekend. Yes, PNS is having a Black Friday sale. We like to keep it real, and our Black Friday sale will actually be Black Friday through Sunday. And we will announce the details of that tomorrow morning on our social media. So we are having one. It's the only sale that PNS has throughout the entire year on our own website. I know a lot of our distributors and partners are having Black Friday sales. There's too many for us to go through and list. So check that out. But PNS does have its own that will start on Friday, but it will be announced tomorrow morning. So watch for that. And then Tom says, great show, Lindsay. I have you covered.
He's going to show up with a 5-gallon bucket.
Full send. Full send. There you go. Yep.
He said you're going to full send it.
But he might show up with a gallon, which is great. That's what you'll need it. Yep. Yeah. So Keith, real quick, what do we have coming up before the next show? So I believe the next show is on like December 9th. So we have, a couple things I want to mention is we obviously have we mentioned it at the top of the show, the Rupes. We have 2-day class running at Hayward, December 3rd and 4th. Go to psdetailproducts.com if you want to look for that. That is, one is the random orbit training on the 3rd, and then one tool, meaning going from sanding to finishing a car with the Duetto. That's going to be an amazing class. So those will be at the Hayward location. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah, we have Daryl and yep. So the guys are coming from that. Then on the 6th, we have a stout class at Focused Car Wash Solutions in Denver. That will be Bob and I, and that will be a stout certification with some headlight restoration training as well. And then on the 7th, we have the IDA Shop Crawl, which is literally my favorite event all year. So super looking forward to that. Keith will be at the Dirt
Expo in Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona with PC Enterprises. I am totally bummed I'm going to miss the shop crawl this year because it's kind of, as everybody knows, it's been my baby, my invention. But I'm super excited to go to the World of Dirt or Dirt World, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then the following week is a big week. So Bob and I have some road stuff going on Tuesday here in Oregon. We'll see all our Oregon partners. Wednesday, Sydney and I descend on the mothership for the annual PNS Christmas party and a distributor gathering there. And then Thursday, what are we doing Thursday after that? Which would be, we got something going on.
Oh, SoCal.
Bob's coming to Oregon.
Yeah, you guys go to SoCal. He is. Yeah. He's going to be there. Yeah. In where, Salem?
Yeah, he's going to be in Salem with me. Lindsay, I'll get offline with you and get you the heads up on that. It's kind of a closed event for our distributors and storefront partners, which will be cool. And then, so then Bob goes to SoCal because the SoCal Wholesale Annual Christmas Party, which is a huge event, is on that week, that Friday. And that weekend as well, I will be that Friday in Colorado, picking up where you left off, Sid, doing a full detail class in Grand Junction, Colorado at detailing at the, what are they? They're Colorado Detail Supply. That's it.
Yeah, in Grand Junction. Yep.
And then stop traveling, period.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
For a couple weeks. So thanks everyone for the show today. So awesome. So great to have you on, Lindsay. I've waited forever for this day. So good to see you.
I hope I was worth it.
Yes, for sure. I can't wait to hear all about the new shop. We're going to have to do like a shop tour video and all that kind of good stuff. Everybody have a really great Thanksgiving. Have a great move, Lindsay. I wish we were there to help you. Keith and I are we forgot to mention Keith and I are going to a football game on Friday. So excited. Yay. So we're going to Boise State versus OSU. It's going to be quite intense. I can't even smack talk because I'm afraid to.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah,
you get beat after running your mouth, you're gonna just be so upset.
Yeah, so OSU played really well this week, and Boise State, they won, but they did not play well. So I'm a little bit nervous about this week. But so Keith and I will be at a football game on Friday.
I'm coming for you, Sid. I got Oregon State's already beat Washington State. So if I can get the Boise State win, I win the Northwest.
That'd be so bad. I don't think it's going to happen, but
I think next year I'll get on that game. That sounds great.
Yeah.
We'll plan that.
All right, guys. Well, I got to go check on this wheel situation out in my shop, but thank you so much. We will see you guys in 2 weeks back here with the guys from the details. So super looking forward to that, and everybody have a fantastic week.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you guys.